What do you hold for the long term, Gareth? What are your safe havens, your war chest, your insurance policies? If all your bets go south, what do you hold to know that you're going to be all right?
So the main thing right now, and this is what I have currently, which I'm long in the long term. I have 5% of my net worth in gold, and usually most of it's physical gold, to be honest. And again, that I look at that like insurance, where if I woke up tomorrow and the grid was down, the banks were closed, I couldn't get money out of an ATM. Well, at least I got some gold, right? And I think that's important to think about, where it's kind of your insurance policy about against all out collapse of the system. Having said that, I also hold for the next multiple years other investments in silver, as well as other metals. Platinum's down here, starting to accumulate some platinum. Some of these metals where I believe that inflation is going to be higher than 2% for the longer term, I think that's really going to be beneficial. So those are my main ones. I do plan on picking up Bitcoin. And in fact, in all fairness, at 19,000, I started my beginning hodl position, to use that term, where I basically allocated a percentage of my net worth, same thing, for Bitcoin, and I bought 1/6 of what I want to accumulate at 19, and then basically every 2-3 thousand lower, I'll buy another 1/6, so up to 5 additional entries. That's dollar cost averaging, safest thing to do. Doesn't guarantee a winning trade, but at least I'm not guessing at a particular low and staking the whole entire amount on that low. So I would strongly recommend people do that as investors. Never believe, and this is interesting. Let me say this. When I was a retail new investor and trader, I would always go into a trade gangbusters because I was like, I'm going to be right. This is a great point. It's going to play out to my thesis. And then I got hammered so many times that I started to say, wait a minute, maybe I should just buy a small percentage of what I want to own. And then if it does go lower, like it often does, I can pick up a little bit more. Usually my thesis ends up being correct. The timing is always the trickiest thing. So dollar cost averaging helps on that front immensely. Understanding that it's so hard to pick bottoms, and then this way you can do it. And I'm a big long-term believer in crypto. As much as I think it can go lower, and I do think eventually it will, just if you're doing small positions, you just dollar cost average and then let things take their course. And remember that bear markets and winters, they're gonna make you think it's gonna make anyone that's bullish panic. That's what a bear market does when it's bottoming out. So you have to mentally be prepared for that and basically re-ask yourself, is my thesis intact? Is the Fed still going to print money during the next, depression/recession? Or is crypto still a run on Bitcoin of 21 million? All these things you have to just continue to say to yourself.
There's a lot of talk in the media right now about, recession coming to the US. What are your thoughts there, Gareth?
I do think so. I think the Fed is just like they always do. They're late to the party. And when they're late to the party, they overcompensate. So they're the person that comes in late and they have to make that big scene and jump up and down so everyone notices them at the party. And not to make light of it because it's obviously affecting the economy, but that's what they're doing. They're overcompensating. They did this in 2009 when we saw the collapse. They came out with gangbusters and printed tons of money. Now we're seeing it again on the opposite side where inflation finally reared its ugly head, and now they're trying to play catch up. And the problem with catch up is that they're going to go too far and they're going to push us into recession. So again, I think by the end of 2022 to early 2023, we're probably talking about a recession here.